Okay, so, open your favorite social media app. Maybe it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or something else you check every day. Scroll for a few minutes, just like you normally would when you're bored or looking for something interesting. Now ask yourself, does it feel the same as it did a few years ago? Chances are, it doesn't. The vibe is different, and not always in a good way. Maybe you notice that you're seeing more ads than actual posts from your friends or people you care about. Or maybe your feed is packed with random videos and suggested content you never asked for, making it harder to find the stuff you actually want to see. Sometimes, after just a few minutes, you might feel tired, frustrated, or even a little anxious, instead of entertained, inspired, or connected like you used to. You're definitely not alone in feeling this way. A lot of people have noticed that their favorite social media platforms just don't feel as good as they used to. It's a common experience now. The posts seem less interesting, less personal, and sometimes even repetitive or irrelevant. The ads are more frequent, more intrusive, and honestly way more annoying than before. It's harder to find what you want, and easier than ever to get lost in endless scrolling, wasting time without even realizing it. So what happened? Why do so many people feel like social media just isn't fun anymore? These changes aren't just in your head. They're part of a bigger trend that's affecting almost every major social media site out there. The apps you once loved have changed a lot, and honestly, not always for the better. The experience just isn't what it used to be. But why does this keep happening? Why do these platforms seem to get worse over time, even as they add new features? To really understand why social media feels worse, we have to look at how these platforms are built, and how they change and evolve over time. There's actually a word for this process, and it's not a pretty one. It explains a lot about why your favorite apps just don't feel the same anymore. The word enshittification might sound a little silly at first, almost like internet slang or a joke you'd hear online, but despite its funny name, it actually describes something very real and increasingly common in our digital lives. Tech critic and author Cory Doctorow popularized the term to explain a frustrating trend: how online platforms, like social media apps and websites, seem to get worse and less enjoyable as time goes on. Enshittification is the process where a platform slowly becomes less useful, less fun, and more frustrating for everyone who uses it. This decline doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds in stages, almost like a slow-motion train wreck. In the beginning, a platform is fantastic for users. It's easy to use, feels fresh, and genuinely helps people connect, share, or create. But as the platform grows, it starts to prioritize making money, usually by showing more ads, pushing sponsored content, or nudging users toward paid features. The focus shifts from delighting users to maximizing profits. Over time, this shift makes the experience worse not just for regular users, but also for creators and even advertisers. Everyone starts to feel squeezed, ignored, or manipulated. Eventually, the platform becomes a shadow of what it once was, a place people remember fondly, but no longer enjoy. Dr. O points out that this isn't just a series of mistakes or bad luck. It's actually built into the very structure of how these tech companies operate. Their business models demand constant growth and ever-increasing profits. To keep investors happy, they need to make more money every year. So they keep squeezing their users and partners, often at the expense of the experience that made the platform popular in the first place. The result? A slow, steady decline that everyone can feel, but nobody seems able to stop. It's like watching your favorite place slowly fall apart. Understanding enshittification helps us see why our feeds feel worse, why we're less excited to open our favorite apps, and why online spaces just aren't as fun as they used to be. It's not just bad luck, poor design, or a few bad decisions. It's a predictable outcome of how these companies are built to operate, and unless something changes, it's a cycle we'll keep seeing again and again. Think back to the early days of Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. These platforms felt exciting and new. You could connect with friends, share photos, and discover interesting videos. The experience felt personal. You saw posts from people you cared about, not just random content. In those early years, the main goal was to attract users. Platforms wanted to grow as fast as possible. They made it easy to sign up, easy to share, and easy to find things you liked. The focus was on making you happy so you'd invite your friends and spend more time there. This golden age was full of creativity and connection. People made new friends, shared their lives, and even started businesses. The platforms felt like public squares, open to everyone, and full of possibilities. But this stage doesn't last forever. As platforms get bigger, their goals start to change. The needs of users slowly take a back seat to something else: making money. Once a platform has millions or even billions of users, it's time to cash in. Investors want to see profits. The easiest way to make money? Advertising. Suddenly, your feed starts to change. More ads appear. Posts from friends are buried under suggested content and sponsored posts. The platform's algorithms change too. Instead of showing you what you want, they show you what keeps you scrolling. Controversial posts, clickbait headlines, and viral videos take over. The goal isn't to make you happy, it's to keep you glued to the screen, so you see more ads. This shift affects everyone. Users feel lost and annoyed. The content feels less personal. Platforms start to look the same, chasing the same trends and the same ad dollars. The magic of the early days fades away. Advertisers become the real customers. Users are just the product being sold. This is the heart of enshittification, the point where your experience is sacrificed for someone else's profit. It's not just regular users who suffer. Creators and small businesses get squeezed too. In the early days, it was easy for anyone to build an audience. Your posts reached your followers, your videos got seen. If you had something to say or sell, people could find you. But as platforms shift to serving advertisers, this changes. Algorithms start to hide your posts unless you pay to promote them. Organic reach drops. Creators have to spend more time and money just to stay visible. Small businesses struggle to compete with big brands who can afford to buy ads. This creates a new kind of frustration. Creators feel like they're working for the platform, not the other way around. They have to play by ever-changing rules, hoping to catch the algorithm's attention. Many give up or move to other platforms until the cycle starts again. The promise of social media, to give everyone a voice, gets lost. The platform that once empowered creators now holds them hostage. Why do platforms keep making these choices, even when users and creators complain? Why does it seem like every time you get used to a platform, it suddenly changes for the worse, adding features nobody asked for or making things more complicated? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Profit, pressure. At the end of the day, these companies exist to make money, and that goal shapes almost everything they do. Social media companies are often public, which means they have to keep growing their profits every single year. It's not enough to just make money, they have to make more money than last year, and then even more the year after that. Investors expect more money quarter after quarter, and honestly, this pressure shapes every decision they make. If a company doesn't keep up, its stock price drops, and executives get in trouble. If adding more ads increases revenue, they'll do it, even if users really hate it. You might notice your feed getting more cluttered, but for the company, that's just more opportunities to cash in. If changing the algorithm boosts engagement, they'll do that too. Sometimes, this means you see more sensational or addictive content because it keeps you scrolling longer. The needs of users and creators become less important than the needs of shareholders. The people who actually use the platform every day often get pushed aside in favor of those who own a piece of the company. There's another problem too. Once a platform is huge, it's really hard to keep growing. When everyone already has an account, where do you find new users? There are only so many new users to sign up, right? Eventually, the pool of potential customers dries up, and the company has to get creative. So, companies have to find new ways to make money from the people who are already there. This could mean introducing paid features, subscriptions, or even more aggressive advertising. That usually means making the experience worse, not better. Users end up feeling squeezed, like they're just wallets to be emptied instead of people to be served. Profit isn't evil by itself. Businesses need to make money to survive and grow, and that's totally normal. But when it becomes the only goal, everyone else loses. The platform stops being fun or useful, and people start looking for alternatives. That's the engine driving enshittification, and it's honestly pretty hard to stop. As long as profit is the main focus, these changes will keep happening, no matter how much we complain. This isn't just a Facebook or Instagram problem. The same cycle happens everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube. Each one starts out great, then slowly gets worse as profit pressure builds. New platforms always promise to be different, but the cycle just repeats. At first, a new app feels fresh and exciting. Users flock to it. Creators build new audiences. But as the platform grows, ads start to appear. Algorithms change. The focus shifts from users to advertisers, and the experience declines. Some platforms try to resist this cycle. They promise to put users first, or to avoid ads altogether. But as they grow, the same pressures show up. Investors want returns. Profits become the priority. The cycle of enshittification begins again. It's a pattern that's really tough to escape. As long as profit drives every decision, the story stays exactly the same. What does all this mean for regular people? Well, it means social media becomes less fun, less useful, and honestly just more toxic. The things you loved, connecting with friends, discovering new ideas, get buried under ads and clickbait. You spend more time scrolling, but you actually enjoy it less. And it's not just about being annoyed. Enshittification can really harm mental health. Endless feeds and algorithm-driven content can make you anxious, lonely, or even angry. The platforms that once brought people together now often drive them apart. Creators and small businesses also lose out. They have to work harder for less reward. Many give up, taking their ideas and energy elsewhere. The internet becomes a less creative, less diverse place. In the end, everyone pays the price, except the platforms themselves, at least for a while. So where does this leave us? Social media platforms keep getting worse, but we keep using them. The cycle of enshittification seems really hard to break. As long as profit comes before people, the same story will play out again and again. But it doesn't have to be this way. Users can demand better. Creators can build new spaces. Lawmakers can set rules to protect people, not just profits. The internet is still young, and its future isn't set in stone. The next time your feed feels worse, remember, it's not your fault. It's the result of choices made by people in charge. And those choices can be changed, if enough of us care. What kind of internet do you want to see? The answer starts with you.